What's up, you guys? It's your girl Tasia. So today we're gonna get into Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and react to episode 5 and 6. Cause yeah, it was a whole lot of mess for these last couple episodes. So let's get right on into it. Period. Okay, so the girls they ended up going shopping in the city. Mind you, they said on the show I saw, they said 91 degrees. First of all, that's super hot to be walking around, and then y'all been drinking. It's like the whole trip they just been getting drunk. So you're walking around Thailand in 91-degree weather. So Leah, mind you, this whole trip basically she has been sick. So in this specific scene, she did go with the girls to go shopping or whatever, right? But she ended up saying she felt like really like dizzy, I think, and like nauseous and sick or whatever. So then she's like laying down on the floor. And you already know the two mean girls this season, Porsha and Giselle, they were like kind of like laughing and joking. But and that's, once again, like I told you, I hate, because I feel like even on Twitter, it make it seem like I really dislike Porsha, which I don't. I just feel like this season, she's not looking too good. Personality wise. But I feel like other seasons I have liked her in Real Housewives of Atlanta. But in Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, this season in particular, it just made her look like a mean girl. And like really fake. Get like really fake, passive aggressive, weird energy. But basically, she's like laughing and gossiping about Leah with Giselle. Like he laughing or whatever. And it's like, this girl is sick. Like she passed out. And I was even talking to some people on Twitter where some people thought, oh my gosh, she's being dramatic. I don't know if y'all know, they were saying she was dehydrated. And somebody was like, oh my gosh, she's being dramatic. All they had to do was give her electrolytes. I don't think you guys know how serious dehydration is. If you're in another country and you've been really sick, nauseous, dehydrated, and all y'all been doing is drinking and walking around in 91 degrees, like, I don't know why people are downplaying dehydration. Like, you can actually really get sick. So they're laughing or whatever. And then that's when Porsha, once again, I told y'all, she keeps on doing this towards Leah. This is the second time she did this, because the first time was on a boat, where she like ran over to like rub her back and be like, but then like throw shade at her. And that was weird. But then in this particular scene, she pretends to like go over there and like console her. And it's like, why are you going over there out of all people? You're gossiping about her in this very moment to Giselle. So that was just very fake to me. If you're genuinely concerned, then yes, go over there because she's sick or whatever. But to be gossiping about her with Giselle as if she's faking or being dramatic, but then go over there and see what's wrong, don't be fake. Because she doesn't need your energy if you're just going to be fake. You can stay over there with Giselle and just gossip about her. But Leah ends up mentioning, like, oh, like, when the medics come or whatever, I guess they were, like, moving her. She was just reminding them she didn't have panties on. So everybody's like, oh, my gosh, didn't she say she was on her period? I feel like that's because they black. I feel like, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I feel like it's more common in the black community for us to use pads than tampons. So I feel like growing up in like the neighborhoods I grew up growing up was like a lot of white people, and they would look at me like I was crazy, like, oh girl, you got a tampon? And I'd be like, no, I have a pad. And they would look at me like I'm crazy, like, girl, you don't have a tampon? So I just feel like she probably had a tampon. I don't know why they were acting like that's so crazy. Like, she probably had a tampon in. They were just, I don't know, they were just trying to make it seem like Leah was lying. Like, who would lie about being on her period? That's like a weird lie. Like, Giselle and Porsha making it seem like she's still just trying not to be a part of the group. She's trying to get out of it. Like, bro, no one is... I don't think, to be honest... okay, I will say this. I feel like from jump, Leah was clearly sick or she's going through something before she came. Like, whatever medicine she was taking, I think it's clearly affecting her. And then the heat is probably not helping, and the drinking and all that. So I do understand when people say, like, she should have stayed home, because it does seem like she has a lot of sickness. But for Porsha and Giselle to be taking it personal and keep on saying, like, oh, she doesn't want to be around us, she's being weird, she's trying to get away from the group. Why are you insinuating or assuming things when she never said that? The only thing, like, they're dragging it from one statement, which was the first night. We're on episode 6. Why are y'all still dragging the one statement she said, which was that the story that Alexia was saying was boring? She did not say she didn't want to be around y'all, she was not interested. She said specific, because I already told y'all I agree with Leah. Not with the way she said it, but no one wants to hear about your husband and all that, like, on a girls trip. So They're just dragging it. Portia's just looking for a moment. Like, they're just trying to, like, nitpick on everything. So, and on that same, like, moment, Giselle is, like, upset. She starts going off about this bottle. How you say, I think, how you pronounce it? Clase Azul? I don't know how you pronounce it, but y'all, I feel like we all seen that bottle. It's that typical white and blue bottle. It's like she's really losing it. Like, someone stole my bottle. Like, give me my RHUGT3 bottle. Like, we're about to search these rooms. Like, I need my bottle. And she's making Pepsi go around and, like, really look for it. So Pepsi goes and looks for it, but she's, like, stressing Pepsi out, like, look for this bottle. And she's claiming that she's going above and beyond for it because she had it, like, it had to be shipped ahead of time because I don't think that bottle is in Thailand. But it's like, girl, you just here for a certain amount of time. You need that bottle? Why would these ladies steal a bottle? Like, she was really going off. Like, I thought it was weird. And, like, Candace called her a Karen, and it was definitely giving Karen. Because it's like, girl, like, have you never had... have you never had decent tequila before? I don't know. I just feel like, stop being extra. And I've been saying this on Twitter. I feel like they all been drinking this whole trip. You probably don't even remember that you probably finished the bottle. That's how I really feel. Those women have been drinking this whole trip. And you're telling me you don't think you finished the bottle. And y'all probably was so drunk, the staff came and threw it out. That's how I really feel. That's what I really feel like happened. Because there's no way y'all are all taking shots multiple days of the trip. And like the last or second to last day of the trip, you looking for this bottle. Girl, you probably finished it. That's how I really feel. That's how I really feel. Or I said Marisol stole it. But I'll explain why I think Marisol stole it. Oh my God. So she claims that she got a suspect list. She says she blamed Marisol. She blamed Candace. And I think Heather, because she said she already knows Heather's a liar because of the Jen Shaw punch thing. So she already said she's on her list. And it's like, girl, like, why are you making suspect lists over a bottle? Like, I just, because the way she went off, y'all, I was about to DM Giselle. I'll be like, let me send you the money, girl. Let me send you the money if you want this bottle this back. Because she was losing it. You would have thought this bottle was like $10,000. I don't know, something crazy. It was just like, it's not making sense, sweetie. Like, I feel like we're just making drama for no reason. But you already know Porsha was the main one agreeing with her. Like, yeah, who stole your bottle? Da, da, da. That's another suspect. I just thought about it because we already know Porsha be lying. And we already know Porsha plays dumb. Like, now that's not even shade. She said that herself. They were like, do you think it works to play dumb? And she's like, always. So, you thinking Porsha your friend, because they were the ones taking shots together. That girl probably done went ahead, took that bottle, and she not going to tell. She going to let you accuse everybody else and sit back. I just feel like that's how Porsha is. But she's just like, yeah, like kind of gassing her up. Or whatever, right? So at this point, you already know Leah already left. Like, she was sent home with the medics or whatever, and she was just at home for the rest of the day. So at this point, they're having lunch, and Pepsi is in the corner, like, over it. He's like, all y'all do is yell, scream, argue about nothing, but then laugh the next minute. Like, he's very confused with the energy. He's like, what is happening here? Like, we're arguing and then we're laughing. But Giselle bring up the bottle again, going off about this bottle, like, suspect number 1, suspect number 2, suspect. It's like, girl, shut up. You still talk about this bottle. Like, I really thought it was a joke at this point. Like, I was starting to get mad because I was like, girl, I know you're not going to talk about this bottle this whole hour-long episode. Like, if I heard Giselle say one more time, give me my RHUGT3 bottle, I was going to lose it. Okay, so, like I said, so she blamed Marisol, Heather, and Candace. Candace was the only one. That's why I like Candace. Like, people like to play Candace like, oh, she do too. No, she's the only one who's able to put Giselle in her place. She's the only one that's not scared, and she's going to say what she has to say. Why is that a problem? It's like people want people to be punks. No, if you're messing with her or saying some slick stuff, she has every right to say what she wants to say in response. Like, she's supposed to sit there, be quiet, and take it like, oh, they're attacking me. I'll see. No, she's a grown woman, and I think it's also because of how little she is. That could be a reason, because, you know, Candace is like, look like she's short and she's real tiny. So I feel like people play with her for that reason as well. They probably don't pay her any attention for that reason. But Candace is like, girl, my man is a chef. and I can have 100 bottles sent to me if I want. I have 100 bottles in the house. Like, he has access to all of it. Why would I want to steal your bottle? And she's like, well, you don't want me to check your room. And she's like, why do I want you? Because I wouldn't steal it. And I'm like, with Candace, I don't need to prove nothing to you. First of all, we already are having issues. Like, that's the thing I think people are forgetting as well. They're like, oh, well, the other ladies was okay with it. Not Porsha, Candace and Giselle are literally coming from Potomac with the issues about Chris, her husband. Why do you think she's just going to be so willing? They're not friends. You were lying on my husband and making it seem like he was doing some shady stuff outside of the marriage. And you think I'm supposed to jump for you because you want to go look for a bottle? No, F you and that bottle. Like, that, I would have the same energy that Candace got. Deal with it. What you want to do about it? Nothing. Like, a grown woman. I don't know, Giselle. She's funny. I'm like, you're not talking to kids. These is grown women you talking to. And mind you, so Candace also brings up to Porsha, like, I wanted to bring up the Instagram post because they took a picture when they were out with the elephants. They had taken a picture, like a group picture. And Porsha had posted it, and she purposely did not tag Candace and Leah. Okay. Not Giselle. Candace called it cyberbullying, but I think she used the wrong word. It's not cyberbullying. It's definitely just the same passive aggressive energy. Like, once again, you're doing little small things that are like digs, but then you'll be acting dumb. So she's just like, it's my Instagram. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't know how to tag everybody. Like, girl, come on. Why would you tag everybody and not them to just be up front? Like, so I told y'all, like, I don't know. Her passive aggressiveness was like amplified this season, and like the dumbness was amplified, and it was just too much to watch with Porsha. And then when she had Giselle with her, it was just too much. So I don't know the word for it. So it's probably just passive aggressive. Like I said, it's not cyberbullying. But, and then so then I'm getting upset because I don't like Marisol in this episode specifically. She's just like, oh my gosh, why is she so loud? Oh my gosh, Candace is so loud. Girl, now I'm going back to Giselle because she even jumped in that situation too. But she mentions even with Giselle, like, oh my gosh, like, she's so loud. She's so loud. And I said, Giselle has been screaming at everybody this whole day about her bottle. You didn't mention one time she was loud. Y'all ladies scream and yell all the time, but why are you picking on Candace and saying she's the one loud because she's getting tight? She was calm the whole time with Giselle. She was like, no. Now she's getting mad because she's like, you're not going to punk me and tell me you're going to come my room and what you're going to do. No. And she's just like, oh, like, she's so loud. I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. It was really weird. Then, so back to with her and Porsha. So with her and Porsha, Candace is trying to have a simple conversation with this girl. And Porsha is just dancing around things. It's my Instagram. I can do what I want to do. Da-da-da-da. I just don't like Leah. She's not my cup of tea. She's just not my kind of girl. Okay, well, address Candace. Candace is right here. What is your issue with Candace? Candace ain't do nothing to you besides the she take a man comment. That's what I'm saying. Just be upfront. Like, she's trying to act like, no, I don't have an issue with you. There's really no issue. I just didn't want to do it. Girl, like, stop playing victim and stop acting dumb. So Porsha's still trying to talk to her. Well, Candace is still trying to talk to Porsha. And mind you, Porsha is like this, like, hand in her face, like, talking to Giselle, like, yeah, like, she needs a nap. Like, girl, you know what you're doing, because if she would have grabbed your hand and snatched it out of your face, because you had a problem when Kenya put that scepter in your face. You had a problem with that. So why is it cool for you to put your hand up in Candace's face when she didn't do anything to warrant that at all? I just felt like she was putting on. It was a lot of put on energy, like doing the most, because she had Giselle with her, so she was just doing the most. And she's just like, yeah, she's like, PJ, we need to get her some Pedialyte. So you're calling her a child? And then and then Porsha's like, you want to cry about it? Are you sad? Are you sad? You want to cry? And then Candace is mocking her. She's like, oh, I'm so sad. And then that's when Marisol was like, oh my gosh, she's so weird. Like, mind you, she keeps on making eye contact with Giselle. And it's like, bro, you fiending to be on that side, and they're the mean girls. They've been talking about you. Giselle has literally accused you of stealing a bottle. Why are you on their side with anything? Because Porsha is siding with her. Like, yeah, girl, da-da-da, amping it up. So why are you even siding on anything and they just accuse you of stealing the bottle? So that's why I said I be thinking Marisol stole that bottle. She actually is a suspect for me. Because that was, like, weird. This woman accused you of stealing and was going in. And Candace was the only one kind of standing up basically for everyone. And you call her weird? You call her loud? It just wasn't making any sense. It was just giving like you're feeding to be with the cool girls and you think these are the it girls, so I'm going to try to kiss up to them. And it's like, y'all are too old for that. Y'all are too old to be kissing up to the so-called mean girls. So, like I said, I didn't like that. And I didn't like Porsha trying to call her a toddler. And you're the one acting like a child, actually, because Candace is articulating herself very well. And she stated the issue. She said what it was. She's actually more the adult in the situation. All you could say was, it's my Instagram. Bye. You're a child. Are you sad? Are you sad? Are you sad? Girl, you're the one acting like that was crazy to me. How are you doing all that? And you're the one acting like the child, but you're calling her that was crazy. I don't know. Porsha was being very, very weird. So that was about it for that episode. Besides Heather getting on the shuttle and then talking crap with Whitney and Candace, they're like, oh, yeah, da-da-da. I was this close to flipping the table. Da-da-da. She was talking, girl, you was quiet that whole time. Don't do that. I ain't like that. I was like, Heather, you should have had that energy with Giselle. Because she really just checked you. And you had nothing to say at the table. So don't get in the bus and then be like, oh yeah, I was good. Girl, you wasn't going to do nothing. Stop. Like, why are you lying? So, the following day, so now let's get into episode 6. So, the following day, is that the following day? I think that was the following episode. I think that was like nighttime, if I'm not mistaken. Because it looked like it wasn't like a morning, so I think it was the same night. So Pepsi, once again, it's crazy how they be triggered by people who know how to have upfront conversations and address things maturely. So Pepsi was like, I'm not happy, and he was like, basically, it was just a lot of drama. Like, y'all are acting a fool in Thailand. Y'all are screaming. Y'all are yelling. Y'all are doing all the hand movements. And then y'all yelling about a bottle. It was just a lot of drama. And he was just like, it was just a lot. So all the ladies, majority of the ladies are like apologetic. Like, yes, we did act a fool. And we're not. I don't think they were like as appreciative as they should have been of Pepsi. Like, he's like, I don't know if you call him the butler. He might have a different name. I don't know his correct title. I'm just going to say butler. He's doing all these things for you guys. The least you can do is to be appreciative and be thankful and not like run him around like it's just his job. So Porsha and Giselle, while everyone else is apologizing, Porsha's like, I'm not going to apologize for, because Giselle's straight up saying she's not apologizing at all. She was like, it's his job. I don't care. And I was like, ew. Anybody who treats service workers like, oh, it's your job, deal with it. That's disgusting behavior. That's gutter level behavior. Ew. Like, just because somebody is working for you, you don't need to like be like rude. So she said straight up she wasn't gonna apologize. Porsha, once again with the fake stuff, was like, oh no, like I'll apologize, but I'm not gonna apologize because of me. I'll apologize that he felt that way. I'll say that. Girl, that's not an apology. Like, passive aggressive again. Then Leah is in the middle of apologizing, literally. And Porsha just cuts her off and was like, and then she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were talking. Porsha, really? Really, Porsha? How the room silent and Leah's the only one talking and apologizing. And they had to tell her, it's the fact that, that's why I said, like, she plays dumb. She knew what she was doing because she was willing to continue. It wasn't until somebody was like, oh no, Leah's in the middle of her apology. She's like, oh, sorry, I didn't hear her. You heard her. You just didn't think anybody was going to check you on it. And you thought you could just cut her off and be rude. Like, I know them two girls together, they real rotten together. And they're even mentioning here, I didn't notice, but they were like, this article I'm reading, they're saying that Porsha never said thank you for all the things Pepsi was doing. Even when he gave her the KFC, she never said thank you. I can't say that for a fact. I really don't remember. I didn't pay that too much attention. Yeah, she's saying every time she saw Porsha ask Pepsi for a favor, she never said thank you. But that's what I'm saying. They feel it's giving like entitled, like it's your job. You're supposed to deal with it. Who cares? It's like weird. So at the dinner, right? They have dinner at the house. So Leah once again is willing to have a mature conversation with Porsha and addresses her and says, "Hey, Candace relayed to me what had happened. I heard I wasn't your cup of tea. What did I do to you personally?" Because they never had a personal thing. She's just making, like, Portia's making up beef in her head, but she's beefing with herself because nothing happened between y'all two. It's like she's really making up stuff. She's like, oh, she's purposely trying to pass out because she doesn't want to be around us. She's purposely getting sick because she doesn't want to be around us. Why are you making up stuff in your head? I'm not understanding that. Like, how are you making up beef in your head? So, Leah's just literally addressing her, like, what is the issue? And she's just like, you're just not my cup of tea. It's nothing personal. You're just not my cup of tea. And then not Giselle. Why do people want to say Giselle so much? But Leah was like, well, I'm fine with that because I'm on the same page. You're not my cup of tea either. So I don't know why Porsha was even annoyed by that comment. Like, she's trying to figure out the issue or just have any conversation with you, and you're constantly shutting her down. You're telling her you're not interested. You don't really like her. And all she says is she doesn't like you either. And you're like, bye, Leah. Bye, Leah. Bye, Leah. And then they're going back and forth. She's like, bye, Porsha. And they're just going back and forth. And she's like, bye, Leah. I don't know what that scene was. It made Porsha look weird. I don't know what was happening. It looks like she's beefing with herself, really, because she's formulating things in her head. I'm telling y'all, cancers are weird. Cancers is the weirdest. I'm sorry. I probably have some followers that are cancer. I don't mean to offend y'all, but I'm sorry. The cancers I've experienced, something is wrong with them. They're very manipulative. They're like liars. They just make up things in their head. I don't know. And they play victim a lot. They're really like delusional. Like, they just make up things. So basically, right after that, Heather, she decides to even confront Giselle about what was said earlier at the lunch. And she was like, oh, she was close to flipping the table. I don't know if I really see this as a real, oh, she decided to stand up for herself moment. Because it was like, once again, you needed the whole group. And you needed hours later. You should have checked her in that moment. She was talking to you crazy. And you was scared. So it was like good, but girl, you should have said that earlier. We on a whole new topic now. Okay, so Whitney was happy, her cousin, like, oh, she's finally like being honest and being genuine. So she was appreciative of that. So then the following day, they're going to the Buddhist temple, which was supposed to be, the excursion was supposed to be run, I guess you could say, by Leah. But Leah, once again, ended up getting sick. She's saying she's just feeling really nauseous, but she can't throw up. So she ended up going to the hospital, and she was there. And once again, I think it was a dehydration thing. And I ain't gonna lie, Leah should have stayed home. Like, this is a terrible trip for her. Like, she's just sick every day. Medic, doctor, anything. So, Pepsi and Candace are like the only two people that like check on her. Everybody else act like they don't care. And once again, Alexia, I understand. If I was Alexia, I probably wouldn't go check on you either. When I was telling my story, you told me I was boring. But like all the other women, it's just like, oh my gosh. So yeah. And then Marisol, she was like, oh, I didn't even recognize or remember that Leah wasn't there. And it's like, Marisol, shut up. She was the same one laughing because somebody said Alexia, and Porsha was like, who's Alexia? And she's like, ha 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 ha, you don't know Alexia, my friend. She's like, and Porsha's like, oh, I forgot. Why are you laughing with her? That's supposed to be your friend, and she's trying to, first of all, Porsha, you knew her name. You knew who Alexia was. Be so for real. Y'all been on a trip for almost a week. And you telling me you don't remember Alexia's name? You was the main one defending this girl. That's crazy to me. Your main issue with Leah is because she said something about Alexia's husband and her story. But you don't remember her name? Porsha. That don't make no sense. That's what I'm saying. She's making up beef. You don't even really know this girl like that. You just said you don't even really remember her name. You don't even remember, like, but your whole issue with Leah is over Alexia and what she said. That's what started it, but you don't even know her name. So Marisol laughing over that just shows, once again, she just is up their butts for whatever reason, and it's a cringe. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, they had did like all the different like messages, like they got, I guess you can call them readings, or I don't know what you call them exactly, but I can't remember everyone else's, but I know what Porsha, they said like, oh, something about like a lesbian is gonna come and try to mess things up, I guess, in her marriage, but she's gonna put an end to that. And Porsha, once again, is trying to play clueless, like, oh, okay, like, okay. I'm like, Porsha, you know who that lesbian is. You know who he's talking. She's like, and then that's when Giselle was like, oh, well, he done said you a lesbian, girl. Now we can't believe that or whatever. Giselle, shut up. Candy Ben told us this. Candy said when she get drunk, she's a aggressive lesbian. I believe those were her exact words, if I'm not mistaken. An aggressive lesbian. And what did Porsha do even in that moment? What are you talking about? I ain't never want to eat your rotten, or whatever she called it, yo, MFM vagina. Like, no, I didn't. And what it come out, that was the truth. Porsha wanted to eat her out. She wanted to get down with Candy. Because it's obvious from things that is said, Porsha get down with the get down. So it's like, girl, just be real. You dibble and dabble with the women, but don't play like, huh? Lesbian. I'm like, Porsha, stop. Porsha, stop. Just be who you are. There's nothing wrong with that, especially in this climate. It's so open. I don't know all the names, but there's like queer, there's bisexual, there, whatever. There's a thing for you, and you can embrace it. You don't have to hide it no more. I feel like we're in a time period where it's okay. So I don't know why she keep on trying to play dumb about the lesbian thing. I feel like guys like that, to be honest. I ain't even gonna lie. Most guys like a girl that like a girl. So I don't know why she's like, now what? Okay. So yeah, so that night or whatever, Whitney had a tantric dinner, which was supposed to be like sexual. So they do they had the Thai dancers like show them how to do moves on the pole. Giselle, it was just not giving. It was like, get off the pole, please. Whitney, she came on there and did her thing. The sis dropped down to a split and bounced. I said, okay, Whitney, I gotta learn that. Cause that was real, like, okay, but I digressed. But yeah, and I believe like they finished off the night. Candace and Whitney, they was on good vibes because they had bought weed that day, so they was just smoking, enjoying themselves, having a good old time. But that's when did y'all repeat Whitney ate Porsha's KFC? I'm like, Whitney, now who told you to go eat that girl KFC? She had the munchies crazy. I'm like, girl. But the staff, I get it kind of, because the staff was probably gone by that time. They high, they lit. But it's like, girl, you can't be eating that girl KFC. Whitney had me dying because she was enjoying that food. Then she went to the pool. It was on the floaty thing and it fell off. I said, oh my gosh, I hope the producer's watching her. This girl is high. Like, she is lit. So that was the end of the episode. I was glad it ended with Porsha and Whitney on good vibes, because I just feel like with the other women, it was just ugh. But yeah, you guys, so that's the end of the recap. There wasn't too much that happened. So guys, catch me in my next video. All right, guys, bye.